Good evening. Yes, it is the third and the final T20 internationals of the series between India and New Zealand. India have already won the series 2-0. They've taken an unassailable lead, but today's game will come down to some of the changes in the Indian side and the opportunities that are being given to the players. In fact, we've got the playing 11 already. The news coming in also is that Rohit Sharma has won the toss and surprise in what was the trend that we saw in the two matches. He's opted to bat first. There are a couple of changes in the Indian side. One being that KL Rahul is rested. Ishan Kishan comes in place of KL Rahul, and the other is Ashwin has been rested, and in his place you see Yuzvendra Chahal, who has come into the side. So what can we expect from this game? Shubhayan Chakravarti joins us here. Shubhayan, two changes. One was expected, I think the other not so much, given how good Ashwin has been in the series. And you know, you just felt like maybe they'd want to continue. He was also coming after a really long time into the World Cup and this series. But that one expected change, you know, we all thought that that was something they would do given that they won the series.
Absolutely, but despite, you know, these two changes, I am disappointed that the team hasn't given Ruturaj Gaikwad or an Avesh Khan a go in this match. This is a dead rubber. This match is meaningless in my opinion, because you have already sealed the series, you have already won the series, and now it is time for giving that platform to the youngster, to the untested youngsters, because that is what they have been talking about, be it Rahul Dravid, be it Rohit Sharma, they all have been talking about, we will give them the chances. But when you have already sealed the series, it is the perfect time to, you know, give Ruturaj Gaikwad a go, or give Avesh Khan a go.
That's right. In fact, that is something that I think I was thinking about even before we got the team sheet. One being that this has been a cautious start of sorts from Rahul Dravid and Rohit Sharma at the helm of this team. You would have expected more changes, just keeping in mind the future than just this series. But the other sense is also you've come out of what was a very disappointing World Cup, so you want to get back to the winning ways, and hence you know, these little changes. Like I would have expected an Ishan Kishan being brought in earlier in place of Shreyas Iyer, because we always feel that in the middle order you'd want that if you want to play.
Absolutely, and you know, that is the most disappointing factor in all of India's previous build up to the World Cups as well. You always talk about so much of experience and youth in IPL and the domestic circuit. We have seen how youngsters are performing in Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy, but you need to give them that shot, at least a good run of games in the T20 format, at least with the World Cup coming next year as well. We have seen the same thing happening to Sanju Samson as well, you know, where he has gotten at least 2-3 games, and then the main players come in and then he doesn't get a good run of games. And I don't want the same to happen with Ruturaj or Avesh Khan, who have built so much of confidence, playing and toiling hard in IPL, getting those crucial wickets for their franchisee. But you know, when these matches, it's a dead rubber, as I said earlier, 2-0 series win, you have that. And you next play a T20I series in South Africa, that is in January. You have no more matches in between, so you will again hope to see them in IPL, Ruturaj Gaikwad or an Avesh Khan. Why not test them in this dead rubber match? So I think it's an opportunity missed in my opinion.
It is an opportunity missed, and why this is also, at least in the last two games, what we saw was an opportunity missed in terms of what India's batting can do when it comes to power hitting. Because in both those matches, Shubhayan, we saw in how what they were doing during the World Cup as well, that the moment you get a power score or a below par score to chase down, you do it well. But what happens when the strike rate comes into play? And where does the Indian batting stand? So in that sense, they've not been tested in this series so far. Today again, I mean, they've chosen to bat first. Hopefully we'll see the openers go off to a flying start, but that is a problem they'll need to address.
Absolutely. See, India have always been a very good chasing unit, be it due to Virat Kohli's heroics in the middle order, or due to the initial Hardik Pandyas or Rishabh Pant's flamboyance in the late middle order. So I think India have always been a good chasing side, but the trouble for them in this specific format has come when they are batting first, when they are asked to, set a target, and that is where India lacked that intensity in the World Cup, the first two matches of the World Cup, where Virat Kohli lost the toss and they were suddenly put under the spot. So I think this is where, and Rohit Sharma rightly mentioned in the toss as well, that we need to experiment. We are looking. They are looking to challenge themselves. So it's a good moment, good time to they have the series in the bag, and so why not bat first and even throw your bowlers under some pressure with the dew on the field. So try some combinations, and that is why I am again repeating that this is an opportunity missed by not playing Ruturaj or Avesh Khan. At least test them whether you are. See, if had Rohit Sharma lost the toss, they were anyway going to bat first because Santner just said they were looking to bowl first. So their bowlers and their batters automatically will come under pressure. So you know that, and why not throw a wet ball to Avesh Khan and see what he can do.
Good point. Now the other thing they are experimenting with is who takes the place of Hardik Pandya. We saw Hardik Pandya struggle during the World Cup. And the sense is now that Venkatesh Iyer comes in as that replacement for now, just to see whether that fits in. And what I found surprising, and you can tell me if you thought so similarly, it was that while Venkatesh Iyer went and batted, he wasn't required to bat in one, and in the other one, he just went in for a couple of balls. But what I found surprising was that they didn't get him to bowl.
Absolutely.
And you wondered what was the thinking behind that. Did you feel the same way?
Yeah, absolutely. Rohit, after the first match, said all the 5 bowlers bowled their quota pretty well, so they didn't need 6 bowlers. But I completely disagree to that point, because that is where you throw your bowlers, you throw your untested players under the spotlight. See whether he's in the mix, he has the quality or the skill sets to deliver in the national colours. And in the first 2 matches where India have dominated the show in both the matches, that was the perfect opportunity to test at least Venkatesh Iyer, if not for the 4 overs, give him couple of overs and check whether he can sustain the pressure of an informed Martin Guptill scoring high runs, or informed Mark Chapman taking those middle overs very cautiously. So that was, I think, again an opportunity missed, I would say, because and this being a bit conservative, that we need to win the series, we need to win the match first and then think about experimenting. I think at least in the run up to the World Cup, where these bilateral series don't mean much, I think India need to go hard and test their untested players who have not tasted like the pressure of national team.
Yeah, that's right. And one thing they've done by resting Ashwin is that possibly that player of the series award, he could have got that, and maybe he won't get the chance to do that. But how brilliant has Ashwin been in this series, and how times change in Indian cricket, right? You remember that period just a while back where everything was about wrist spinners, how wrist spinners were going to get you wickets in the power plays, how the wrist spinners were controlling the game, and Ashwin comes in and shows you that a good bowler is a good bowler, period. If you bowl well in the right areas, you will get the wickets.
Absolutely. See, even during the World Cup, we were talking about this specific thing, that Ravindra Jadeja and Ashwin both were ousted from the team after the 2017 Champions Trophy. They were slowly phased out, and then came the wrist spinner duo of Kuldeep Yadav and Yuzvendra Chahal. They did exceptionally well in the first couple of years of their partnership under MS Dhoni, under Virat Kohli. But again, then the quality of Ashwin, the quality of Jadeja, the experience they bring in, and Ravichandran Ashwin, I feel, is an ever evolving bowler. He grows with every passing over, with every passing delivery in his international career, and it's a joy to watch Ashwin bowl, whether he's trying hard to experiment and get in a couple of good deliveries, try and catch a wicket, or whether Ravindra Jadeja coming in from that round the wicket angle and trying to restrict that option. So finger spinners, and even one of the ICC officials told that the wrist spinners will be there, the likes of Vanindu Hasaranga or Rashid Khans, these guys will be there and thereabout, but the finger spinners in this specific format can restrict the run scoring flow as well, and that is why they become so important in this format.
Yes, and the person you can see on your screens along with Chumayan is Yuzvendra Chahal. Now this is an opportunity for him. We saw what he did in the second leg of the IPL. And we always know that he's a wicket-taking bowler, he's an attacking bowler, but you felt like with Kuldeep and with Yuzvendra Chahal at one point that they were low in confidence. And I think with the IPL, especially for Chahal, the performance that he gave, that, you know, he would have got that confidence back. What are you expecting in terms of, you know, what they're trying to experiment with Chahal today? Because I would have felt that they would have continued with Ashwin, given him another game in this tournament.
See, the fact about wrist spinners are that they are the wicket takers. They always give you wicket because they have that flighted zone which off spinners do not tend to bring in this format nowadays. And wrist spinners are known to have big hearts. They can flight the delivery up, and they are the wicket takers. And Yuzvendra Chahal for India has been a very successful bowler. Yes, since 2019 you may have seen a dip in form, but in the second half of IPL 2021, Yuzvendra Chahal was looking into the groove, maybe after the comments by our chief selectors Chetan Sharma that they want someone to bowl quicker through the World Cup. Yuzvendra Chahal did show his quality, did show his variations, that he can bowl quicker through the pitch, he can bowl you the googlies as well. So Yuzi Chahal, maybe they are thinking of a combination where they will play a experienced wrist spinner, finger spinner in Ashwin, and maybe get another wrist spinner in Yuzi Chahal if the conditions permit. Right.
Okay, now this is what Rishabh Pant is saying. After the World Cup, everyone was thinking that in what areas we can improve. As a group, we've been talking about that a lot. We had to improve in the middle overs. In those two matches, we've ticked few boxes that we spoke in the team meetings. It's going really well for us. And as a kid, I've always dreamt of winning matches for India in any situation. I'm ready to do whatever the team needs. He's also talked about the workload. Shubhayan says, I can't be complaining. But the team management has given me offs for the next 2 test matches. Hopefully, I can recover well and do well in South Africa. So that's the other thing that, you know, Rishabh Pant will sit out of the 2 matches.
Yeah. New Zealand series. And it was expected. It was expected that Riddhiman Saha will keep for India in that series. So it's a good break for Rishabh Pant as well, who has been playing continuous cricket since the last IPL. He went to England, he went to Australia, he again came back to India, played England, played then went to the IPL second phase, again World Cup. It's been a cruel schedule for all the players, and Rishabh Pant has played all the games for India, for Delhi Capitals. So a lot has gone for himself as well, and it will be a good break, you know, for a couple of weeks to just go and spend time with his family, and then later come back for the Australia tour, for the South Africa tour, which will be a massive feat for the Indian team.
Undoubtedly. But what is also difficult right now for one team is New Zealand struggling with this right after the World Cup, went up to the final, lost that, must have been extremely emotional, had no time to rest but fly down to India. And you can see that in how, you know, it's like people are opting out of every match. You saw that first with Kane Williamson. Lockie Ferguson's just come back but recovering from an injury. Devon Conway still.
Kyle Jamieson is out.
Kyle Jamieson also sat out. Tim Southee today is not playing. Mitchell Santner is captaining in place of him. And if you look at this side and compare it to the test side, pretty much similar teams. This is not going to be an easy one going into the test series for New Zealand.
I think and rightly so. They are naturally, they will be emotionally jaded, and it's not easy to, like, you know, come into the hit the ground running after such a heart-shattering defeat. They had the same in 2019 World Cup final. They again witnessed the same result in the 2021 T20 World Cup final. So it's never easy to, you know, come back into the field, and after a couple of days, that is where I keep on saying this schedule will kill the players, not only physically but mentally as well, because it's very tough. You have to travel from one country to other, adapt to the conditions, adapt to the new tactical sides of the game, and it is very hard. And credit to these New Zealand boys who have played with pride. They have played some good cricket, although not at the level which is expected of them. But yes, again I would say that the broadcasters, the stakeholders need to think about the scheduling, because it is tough.
Yeah, and it is not going to get easier going into next year as well for these teams. And tend to think that the World Cup is less than 12 months away, so they'll be playing another World Cup. But yes, you know, players will have to do what they have to. So yes, this is the third and the final T20 international. It is a dead rubber of sorts because India have already won the series, but nevertheless, this is an opportunity for someone like Nishan Kishan, for Venkatesh Iyer to come good, as is expected of them. Shubhayan Chakravarti, thank you for taking the time out. That's it from us. We'll come back with the mid-innings show. Join us then. For now, goodbye. Thanks for watching.